Charlie Chaplin's 1936 classic Modern Times is one of the earliest times television, or at least something like television, appears on film. At the time of filming, TV was still in its infancy, the subject of experiments, but not much more. The same year, there was a film release that depicted the making of a test television broadcast. You can still watch it on YouTube, although be warned it does contain blackface and some other uncomfortable stuff. But televisions weren't commercially available, and there was no regular programming. Still, Chaplin foresaw the TV screen as being a crucial part of the future of work. In the first part of Modern Times, Chaplin's tramp character works on a factory assembly line. The boss monitors the workers through a television screen and appears to them on a similar screen to demand that they work harder. The boss's view is all-encompassing. He even sees you when you're in the bathroom, lingering on your break. Television here appears as a version of Foucault's panopticon, allowing constant surveillance, or at least the impression of such. In line with the themes of the rest of the film, Chaplin sees the oncoming invention of television as just another technology which will be used to break the will of the working class, much like the machines that literally chew up his characters. This is also how television appears in Orwell's 1984, as both an instrument to distribute propaganda and a way to spy on the oppressed masses. In the end, Chaplin was probably right to see the television screen as an instrument of social control, but not in the way he meant. Later in the film, the tramp meets with his love interest, played by Paulette Goddard. He begins envisioning a future for the two of them, one in which he can avoid being a worker, activist, or criminal, and simply be a husband. There's also a fantasy of reckless consumption and material wealth, best expressed through the famous sequence where the tramp rollerblades through a closed department store. The home that he dreams of looks a lot like the kind of suburban home that would become so popular after World War II. There's even room for a television, where the window is. After the war's end, many Americans would have just the same dream as the tramp, a comfortable home of their own, with as many material goods as they wanted. There was a massive production of suburban homes, and many white middle-class families moved into them from the cities. Television became popular as entertainment for the new environment, something that promised to bring the best of the city, the theater, the nightclub, the ballpark, to the suburban home. While television, at least analog television, didn't become the kind of monitoring device we see in the factory scene, it became part of a social order that helped to tamp down workers' movements and create a relatively stable, commercial American polity that lasted for 2 decades. Modern Times ends with our two wanderers heading out into the world, into an uncertain future. Chaplin himself wouldn't have access to the post-war American dream. In the 1950s he left for Europe, hounded by accusations of communism as well as scandal over his relationships with Joan Barry and the teenage Una O'Neill. Unlike contemporaries like Buster Keaton and the Three Stooges, he never dipped his toe into the nascent medium of television. But in Modern Times we can still catch a glimpse of how the new medium was about to reshape social life.